Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be learning how to knot top and Duff chip shots. First thing that we're going to do is focus on where our stance is. What some people have is they have too large of a stance. They have a kind of an iron swing stance, and what that does, it just brings in too much sway into this simple chip shot. We're going to try to just narrow the stance a little bit, probably a club face or a ball and a half in between your feet, and you're just going to have them square to the target. What most people do, is what I see, is they have it too far back in the stance and they have the handle way too far forward, which is just going to dig a huge divot. So, and then the other thing is having it way too far up in the stance and lifting up all this weight on this back foot, lifting up, is not a good recipe for a good chip shot. Another thing that happens is they try to scoop the ball. So they go from the inside and try to scoop the ball, which is not good, ideal at all. So we want to have it right inside the right heel. So right inside this right heel, that's where we want it. And then having that narrow stance, square to the target, and that should be the perfect setup. And another thing is having that handle way too low. So when you have that handle too low, you expose the toe of the club, which makes it go on a more larger radius, which is more difficult to hit the chip shot. So to counteract that, we're going to lift the shaft of the club higher, and we're going to stand a little closer to the ball. This is going to ensure that we make a decent strike at the golf ball. Another thing that we want to do is, where is your shaft angle? Is it over the ball? So what we want is over the ball. We want over the ball. You don't want to way too far forward. You don't want to way too far back. That's just not going to be that well for you in striking a chip shot very well. So we just want that shaft right over the ball. So another thing is while striking the golf ball. So with the hinge, you want your, at all times, that you're hinging just a tiny bit, but your thumbs are always pointing at the ground. That's a good chip point to have. They're always pointing at the ground. So the next thing we're going to talk about is how your shoulders are moving. So what you want, like ideally, you want your chest to be moving. Your chest to be moving just a touch, left and right. You don't want your arms moving. You don't want to be way out here, your whole shoulder moving. You do not want that. You just want club face over the ball. So you just want that nice club face within the hands, and then on the way back and on the way through. We don't want this shoulder higher than this one. We want them pretty level. So pretty level at address, and then going through. We want 70% on this foot, 70 to 90% on this foot, because we don't want to be swaying in this kind of shot. And again, we're talking about a chip shot. So we definitely don't want to be swaying during a chip shot. That would just make it way harder on ourselves. So we just want to come back to the same spot every time. Be as consistent as possible. Just like that. And another thing you can work on to be even more consistent is what Matt Kuchar says, is that what he tries to do is be as shallow as possible. So there's more room for error. So if he does chunk it a little, that it won't go way offline. It won't absolutely ruin that shot. So what he tries to do is be a little bit more shallow through impact. He doesn't go out steep like most of us do, but he's a little bit more shallow. And he chips very well. So that's another tip. And what you could try at home is having a alignment stick or something behind the ball. So for duffing chip shots that we're not duffing chip shots, we place it probably 4 to 5 inches back of where the golf ball is, and that we would have a angle of attack coming through the golf ball, so that we're not all the way back here when we're hitting the golf ball. That we're right on the golf ball every time. And another thing we want to talk about is what kind of club you're using. If you want to use a 52 or a pitching wedge or 56 or 60, I have those kind of clubs. So that's just the example I had. But depending on how low you want to hit it, or if you want to run it, or if you want to hit it a little bit higher, you could definitely just change clubs, and it will definitely, the loft will help you. You do not need to lift it up to add loft to it. There's enough loft on the club face to pop up the golf ball. So even if your hands are way in front, it's still gonna pop up pretty high with a 60 degree. That's what usually I chip with. So just let the club face do the work. You don't have to scoop it up, what most people do. They scoop it up or they lean back. That's not gonna help you. And with swing also, you do not want to sway in a chip shot. So hope you guys liked the video. Like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.